My ALS Journey was something that was created intentionally to be a live product. And by that, I mean it is something that is not going to be a one and done. We've created it, we've launched it, it's on the shelf for people to use. It is something that is ever changing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connecting ALS. I am your host, Jeremy Holden. ALS follows no predictable path and does not progress on a predetermined timeline. For many people living with the disease, that creates real challenges when it comes to being able to plan ahead and manage the uncertainty of change. So helping people navigate that uncertainty can provide a better quality of life for people living with ALS and their loved ones. To that end, on May 25th, the ALS Association launched My ALS Journey, a new web-based platform that connects people with ALS to personalized, valuable resources and assistance. This new interactive tool provides a personalized experience, relative information, articles, and actionable checklists that help people living with ALS plan as they experience the stages and progression of the disease. With a personalized profile, individuals can learn about the appropriate and time-sensitive interventions available to truly live stronger and better with ALS. To learn more about this tool and how it is helping make ALS livable, I recently caught up with Leslie Ryan, Senior Director of Education and Professional Competencies at the ALS Association. Leslie, thank you as always for being with us here on Connecting ALS.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, look, one of those big kind of Scrabble or GRE words that gets thrown around in this community quite frequently is that of heterogeneity. ALS, as listeners are well aware, is a heterogeneous disease. What challenges does that create when putting together a care plan?
Well, as you said, everyone's experience with ALS looks really, really different. And you've met one person with ALS, you've met one person with ALS. Not only does the disease present and progress differently for everybody, but external variations such as demographics, insurance, income, other health issues, and their support network impact the journey. And there are also significant decisions that must be made along the way, and potentially those choices change over time. So all of this contributes to the challenge of creating a care plan. And while we know in general what might lie ahead, there are so many variables that may turn someone down a different path or change the course of the disease completely. So it's not a clear cut, at this stage do this, then at this stage do this type of disease. So care planning can be hard.
That's hard for care planners who have potentially been down this road before, or who have a general sense. If they're designing a care plan for someone living with ALS, they have a sense of the different paths that may come next. But for somebody diagnosed with ALS, they've never gone down this road before. This is brand new. What current resources exist? We're going to get to a new resource here relatively soon, but what currently exists to help someone newly diagnosed understand how their ALS will progress and on what timeline?
So there's a wealth of information online and in print, we all know, and that could be a great thing, a blessing, and a curse. Because while it's convenient, it can be overwhelming and confusing. But there are a lot of fabulous resources online, especially. There are ALS multidisciplinary clinic teams, and they're one of the main places to get trusted information about individual disease timeline as they track indicators of disease progression and really help people plan for what's ahead. And so getting information from the ALS clinic team is really important. And support groups, people that go to support groups and talk to those who've been on this journey a little bit ahead of them, maybe. That will really help them understand maybe how they may progress, someone newly diagnosed may progress in the future. And one of the best resources to help someone newly diagnosed is their local ALS Association care services team. They work with so many families. To your point, people who do this care planning know what lies ahead. They know what the different roads may look like. And they have a strong understanding of disease progression and what to be planning for. They know the key questions to ask to assess different needs. And they're available to answer questions on nearly any topic, provide referrals to experts, and offer resources. So there is information out there. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's good to know. And, the ALS Association recently announced a new tool, a new source of information that's out there, and that is the My ALS Journey. Talk to me a little bit, talk to listeners a little bit about what that program is. What is My ALS Journey? Where did it come from? And how can it help?
As I think we've made the point, with an ALS diagnosis, people become overwhelmed. There is a tidal wave of information and emotion that hit somebody when they are accepting and hearing the diagnosis of ALS. And while most people immediately have many questions and concerns, we also really recognize that they don't know what they don't know. And so we wanted to provide something that would help people along the way, meeting them where they are in the moment, and then bring them forward to empower them throughout their disease journey. So in essence, we wanted something that could be the librarian in the very full library of information on ALS. So we created My ALS Journey. It is a web-based platform that delivers guidance and support to people living with ALS. In My ALS Journey, users are asked a series of questions related to their symptoms. And this online tool uses answers to deliver personalized resources, information, and articles relevant to their immediate need while preparing them for what is next. Advanced planning is critical to people living with ALS. And that's hard, as we've established already. But with proper preparation, disease burden can be anticipated, avoided, and managed to a greater degree. The My ALS Journey provides prompts and reminders in the form of action items so that users can be proactive in their disease process. They also then don't have to worry about what may be falling through the cracks or things that they're not aware of. Shared decision-making is when a clinician and a patient jointly make a health decision after discussing options, potential benefits, and harm, and considering the patient's values and preferences. Patient empowerment is crucial to shared decision-making, and much of that empowerment comes from knowledge. My ALS Journey allows users a convenient platform to save pertinent articles and information so that they can educate themselves and work with their care team to achieve better care. So My ALS Journey is an information tool, but it is also an engagement tool, facilitating that connection between people living with ALS and their care team. The conversation starter provides access to information about how to live stronger and better as the disease progresses.
I like that analogy of the librarian. It makes me think of that old adage, you don't know what you don't know. This sounds like a librarian that can maybe help understand what it is that you don't know.
Absolutely.
You talked about patient empowerment and centering the people that we serve in all that we do. So what role did people living with ALS have in developing My ALS Journey?
We had people living with ALS, their caregivers, and some people who had lost loved ones to ALS involved in every step of this process. So to begin with, we mapped out the journey of ALS, and we spoke with different people living with ALS about their experiences, what their progression looked like, what the different impacts were that they had that changed the course of their disease. And we tried to literally map it out on paper, which was very challenging because, as we keep saying, it's very heterogeneous disease. And as we developed this, we had user feedback groups that gave information around the basic wireframe, how this was going to look, what they would find helpful. Was this accessible to them if they were using eye-gaze devices or switch-activated devices? How did they access web-based platforms? And so we wanted to make sure that not only the content was relevant, but that the tool itself was accessible, impactful, and something that they would find useful over time.
One of the things we've talked about a lot on this show in recent weeks is how it's an exciting time in terms of discovery, upstream and downstream understanding of how ALS develops and progresses, new assistive technology that is in various stages of development, but we're just learning more about the disease at an accelerated pace. And that's an exciting time. How will My ALS Journey adapt to new learnings as we learn more about the disease and how it progresses and the needs of people as they go through their ALS journey?
That's a great question. It is an exciting time to be in the ALS space. And My ALS Journey was something that was created intentionally to be a live product. And by that, I mean it is something that is not going to be a one and done. We've created it, we've launched it, it's on the shelf for people to use. It is something that is ever changing. So updating with resources, updating with changes in profile questions that people ask and that may relate to their decisions they're needing to make along the way, or options in care that they may have. It's something that we will continue to update. We will continue to adapt the environment and landscape around us.
It's an exciting time in the fight against ALS, as you say, but a great tool to add to the toolkit. Leslie, thanks for stopping by and walking through My ALS Journey. We'll be sure to share a link in the show notes so folks can give it a try.
Great. Thanks so much, Jeremy.
I want to thank my guest this week, Leslie Ryan. To get started with the My ALS Journey tool, go to myalsjourney.com or click the link in the show notes. If you like this episode, share it with a friend. And while you're at it, please make sure you rate and review Connecting ALS wherever you listen to podcasts. It's a great way for us to connect with more listeners. Our production partner for this series is Citizen Racecar. Post-production by Alex Brower. Production management by Gabriella Montequin. Supervised by David Hoffman. And that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll connect with you again soon.